Alright guys, so it is early in the morning on the 27th right now, and it looks like the firmware update is out. Came out last night sometime when I was sleeping, which was to be expected. But what were the fixes? What did this 1.1.0 firmware for the R5 actually do? So first and foremost, I don't have an R5, nor can I test it. Hopefully you guys do, and if you do and put this on there, you guys can leave some comments down below to let us know what kind of fixes or what kind of improvements you've possibly seen since the upgrade to the 1.1.0 firmware from Canon. First off, here on Canon Rumors, it does talk about what the 1.1.0 incorporates. So number one, useful messaging is now displayed when HDI displays camera plus external monitor, and overheat control on settings are enabled. Number two, when using certain RF lenses from movie shooting, the in-lens image stabilization mechanism has been improved. Fixes a phenomenon in which the slow synchro setting screen is not accurately displayed when the language is set to English. Number three, fixes a typo displayed in the communication setting screen when the language is set to Korean. 4, connectivity during FTP transmission has been improved. 5, fixes a phenomenon in which the card access time may take longer when using certain CF Express cards. Sure. 6, here we go. Temperature detection and shooting time control in video shooting has been improved. So that's good, and I want you guys just to kind of think about this. In addition, the total shooting time when the short time recording and power on off are performed repeatedly at room temperature is improved. So that's also good. The phenomenon in which the movie recording time available is not correctly displayed when the date time zone is not set has been corrected. So a few things. So really this seems more like an actual bug fix than an actual true improvement, I think, in regards to some of the hopes that you and I had for a firmware coming out that would really focus on the temperature issues or the overheating issues that we've been seeing with the R5 and possibly R6. Up above this, and I've had a chance to watch this, and I encourage you guys to watch it. I'm going to actually link to this article as well as link to this video here, which is from, I believe, Gordon Laing. I believe I'm saying his last name right. And he got the actual firmware one day in advance over everybody so that he could do some testing on it. And there were a few things that he noticed. Yes, there was some improvements in time, not substantial improvements in recording time with video, but definitely some improvements. And again, I do encourage you guys to go watch this video because it's not overly long, but he does go into some pretty good detail and give some good examples from his testing and the results that came. A few things, like I said, he did get some extended time when shooting. But one of the big things for me that I noticed was things like short-term boost and recovery. So he did a test, and again, when you watch the video, you'll hear about this, that he was shooting in 4K 120, and on the original firmware, he would shoot a small clip, then let it cool down for 30 seconds. Shoot a small clip, let it cool down for 30 seconds. And he was able to do this for about 22 clips. And that was when the camera said, yeah, you're done. It's overheated, it's over. With the new firmware though, same kind of idea. He would do this kind of interval shooting until the camera overheated. And he got, I think he said 96 shots. So that ability for the camera to record and cool and record and cool. So one of the things I think that this firmware, I believe he says here, is that there are 3 sensors that it is getting improved information from. And I believe, I may be wrong here, but I believe 2 of them are internal temperature settings and 1 is in regards to the cooling timer. So it's using that information a bit more to figure out what the internal temperature is, as well as the external temperature and the timer, because that is what is helping us get at least some more recovery time, which again is good. Now my hope is that this was a fix or a firmware update that was close to being finalized when all of this information and all of these overheating tests were coming out, especially that came out in like the last week, and that this is the first firmware that we will see out of possibly a lot that Canon will work on fixing the longevity of this camera. But any increase right now is beneficial. Again, I'm going to leave a link down below so you guys can go see this video because it is good. It gives us some good information. He does some good tests to show the improvements. Any improvement is a good improvement right now. Does it make the camera perfect? No, definitely not. There is still some room for it to grow. And I don't expect that we're going to get rid of the overheating. I think that overheating is going to be there. But I think with some of these firmware adjustments and improvements, even with this released, the hope is that we can even start to see some external cooling devices actually become somewhat useful. So having something that is monitoring the external temperature of the camera, which sounds like it wasn't really being utilized much before and is now, can help bring that temperature down. So I'd be interested now to see if the folks over at EOS HD, which did the first test when they shot the camera in a fridge and it did nothing in regards to helping the overheating, I'd like to see them do that test again with the new firmware. I'd like to see how it performs, seeing that the external temperatures are constantly being cooled. Hopefully they're going to do that soon. And when they do, we'll be able to talk about that. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you there. Make sure you head over to Canon Rumors to take a look at the article and go over and watch the video from Gordon Laing because it's good information. All right, my friends, like, comment, share, subscribe, and we will see you next video. Later.